Another useful distinction to make grammatically is between it and there, and perhaps it's because sometimes it's not so obvious. In some sentences, I agree, it can be confusing when to use it and when to use there. Now, I've got a lot of different situations here when we can use it, and so perhaps I'll start with there. There is a little bit clearer, I think, a little bit simpler, although number 3, I hope to show you with number 3, when we use no with there, it becomes very similar to its. But we can use there in a deictic sense, and this just means when you refer to something concrete in the world around you. Deictic means it takes its meaning from the context, from the situation in which it's used. So when you say there, I mean, it depends on where you are, the meaning of there. When you point there, you know, it depends where you're pointing. And so we could say the station used to be there, and then we're using there meaning over there, yeah? Or we could also say there used to be a station there. Now, I hope you can see that this there is actually existential, and that there is actually deictic. Here you mean over there, and here you're introducing something into existence, which is why we use an A. And these would be 2 more examples. There's my pen. If I say, there's my pen, and pick it up, that's a deictic use of there. And we would also say there it is. So if it's a pronoun, then the pronoun tends to come before the verb to be, because we would say there he is, there they are. And so please remember to put the pronoun before the verb to be, but after, if it's just a noun. There's my pen, there are my books, something like that. But you can say there my books are, so it sounds more like a surprise then. But you couldn't do it with the pronouns. Rather odd. You couldn't say there is it. Doesn't make sense. It's there it is, there he is, not there is he. Okay, the second point is about existential there. There was a bank in the town centre. Please remember to use a and an with these expressions because they're existential. And when you're just talking about the presence or the existence of something, don't use it. Yeah, you would not say it was a bank in the town centre because you're talking about the existence or the presence of something. So that's what I mean by existential there. Only use there if you're affirming the existence or the presence of something. Don't use it. Okay, and number 3, there are a lot of expressions with there's no, which are very similar to the it's no one, so we'll deal with those at the end, but I'll give you some examples at the end of that. Now, it is a pronoun, first of all. So what's that? It's a pen. Here, it is referring to a noun. It's a pronoun. So we can certainly use it when it's got an antecedent that it's referring to. Okay, that's perhaps the most common way we use it. However, there are some other times when we use it, and I think I've forgotten to put them on the board. Oh no, here they are. So let's first of all deal with it and adjective. We often say it was good, it was great, it was wonderful to meet you, or it was wonderful that he came to the party as well. So we can use +2 plus infinitive and plus that after it and adjective. We also use it with time, distance and weather. So it was 3 o'clock. It is 5 miles to the next town. Or it is raining. It is snowing. It is sunny. And that might seem a bit odd because it's not really clear what kind of noun it's referring to. It is raining. The weather is raining? No, the sky is raining. So I think that needs to be remembered. Just simply remembered that we use it for time, distances and weather. We also use it at the start of the clause, and all of these, notice, it plus adjective, it plus P plus time and distance and weather. It's at the start of the clause, and we can also say it helped to do something. Yeah, it helped, or that as well with help. It helped that I had studied a lot the night before the exam, or it helped to study the night before the exam. So we could use a that clause or a 2 plus infinitive clause after it helped. We can also say it hurt to do something. Yeah, it hurt, and we could even add an object in there. It hurt me, but it hurt to pay him the money. Yeah, perhaps it was a particularly large amount of money, and it was painful, so it hurt to give him the money. And we can even do it with the verb pay. We can also use it with a verb which is a feeling, and then an object, and then to plus infinitive or that. So it shocked me to learn that, I don't know, it shocked me to learn that he hadn't done his homework, but it worried me that he hadn't done his homework. It upset the teacher to learn that he hadn't done his homework, whatever. But there's any feelings here really you can use, and then an object, and then to plus infinitive or that. Another time when we use it at the front of the clause, at the beginning of the clause, we say, it took me an hour to get there. Yeah, it takes. How long does it take to get there? Very useful phrase which is well worth learning because we use it very often. Now we'll deal with it as an object, not as a subject. And so we could say, I can't stand it when blah blah blah, or I can't bear it when, or I love it when, or I hate it when. And we can even say I can't stand it that, and we do sometimes. I can't stand it that he never explains clearly what he's talking about, something like that. But we can also say when or if, so all of those are possible. I can't stand it, I can't bear it, I hate it, I love it, I like it. There must be that it after these verbs because they're transitive verbs. Okay, we can also, with these words, basically it's the same, but you can't do that with these words. You can't say I dislike it that. You can say I like it that, but you can't say I dislike it that. So it's only if and when with these words. Okay, so just remember those words separately. And almost lastly, we're going to look at believe, consider, feel, find and think. This is quite a common expression. I believe it likely that the criminal is in hiding, or I consider it incredible that the police haven't caught him yet. I find it unusual that he's been missing for so long. Yeah, I think it's strange that nobody has informed on him, or something like that. And yeah, I think it a waste of time or a waste of money that people spend on this particular thing, whatever it is. But really common expression. Believe it, and then adjective or noun phrase. Okay, let me give you a better one for waste of time. I think it a waste of time that we make students learn, I don't know, citizenship or something like that. Make students study citizenship. Okay, on to the no expressions, and I think these are the hard ones. Perhaps it's just best learning these expressions. They're all really common, these expressions. So the basic difference is that these it expressions, we can reverse these it expressions and they will still make sense. So we can say it's no longer necessary to take an exam. Or we can say to take an exam is no longer necessary. We can say it's no good crying over spilt milk, or we can say crying over spilt milk is no good. We can say it's no coincidence that his brother worked in the oil industry, or we can say that his brother worked in the oil industry is no coincidence. So these are all reversible. However, whether that's useful or not, I don't know. Perhaps it's more practical just to learn these expressions and just remember it's no longer necessary, blah blah blah. You learn some full sentences to learn these expressions. It's the best way to learn them as full sentences. And there's one, they're not reversible. When you say there's no point in bringing your hat and scarf, you can't say bringing your hat and scarf is no point, or there's no point. It's just not possible to reverse it. So all of these are irreversible. There's no point in doing something. There's no choice but to call the police. There's no denying that the suspect is a woman. There's no hope for those of you who haven't revised for the test. There's no need to study for the next test. There's no question of bad behaviour in this classroom, or That sounds a bit weird, actually. There's no question of his innocence in this case. There's no chance of failing this exam, and there's no reason to get upset. Something like that. But yeah, please, if you have any questions about it and there, because they are very confusing, and I can think of a number of occasions when students mix them up, please put them under the video and I'll do my best to answer them. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you all soon.